All right, guys, we're going to take a look real quick about this next strategy, and it's basically doing with the reading section of the ACT. And really, I don't want you to get buried down in the reading for it. And sometimes, like you get these topics that you're just not all that excited about, and then you have to read through it and you have to answer questions. You're going to be tested on it, and we've got to practice it. And really, how do we, your reading level, the higher that is, the better, the easier it is to get through this stuff. But that's something that takes a long time because it's a matter of how often are you reading. Okay. And so if you're not reading or the reading level's not up there, even if it is, these are strategies you can use to up your scores on the ACT. So that's what we're looking at today, not necessarily reading level stuff. You've got to be reading books and stuff to raise that up. But we're going to talk about raising your reading level wherever it's at. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. Now, you can use this strategy. I remember when I was falling behind in my reading for some college classes, I used a strategy for that, and it just kind of got me enough to where I could understand what was going on and get pulled through. Now, there's in the ACT, there's 4 types of reading: prose fiction, social science, humanities, natural science. Now, I don't care if you know the difference between the 4 different ones, but the strategies that we use, if you're reading a certain type of text, you're like, oh man, this strategy is not working for me. We're going to try today. The plan is to try this strategy with all 4 different types. And you can decide, does it work for you or not? Does it work for you some of the time or not? The handout that we have at the end is going to ask you to evaluate whether this works for you so that when you go into it, you understand you have a strategy to use. Now, for each section in the ACT, you only have like a certain amount of time. So for the reading, they have like 10 questions and a big block of reading, and you only have like 8 or 9 minutes. So if it takes you longer and you're having trouble finishing, this strategy speeds you up, because the strategy is just to read the first, in every paragraph, read the first and the last sentence, and then answer the questions about that paragraph. Now, sometimes there's other strategies about reading the questions first before you go to the reading, so you know what you're looking for. That's fine too. I just want to focus on reading the first and last sentence and see if that helps you. But if as you're going through it, you're adding these strategies to it, that's cool. Skim. After you read the first and last sentences, you could skim the whole article just to see if you got the basic idea. That's a strategy too. I want to focus on reading the first and last and see if that helps you. But then you can add these other things all you want, like the strategy of eliminate the wrong answers. And we'll kind of do that, work through that in this video too. So those are the things that you want to be working on. All right. And so we're going to take a look at it. So here's a basic thing. We're not going to read the whole thing of any of these. First sentence: many people assume that honeybees are important only because they make honey. Now, we might not care about honeybees. I like them, but we might not care about honeybees, but we're going to be tested on it. So what we realize here is that they introduced honeybees and they're said that they're important. Let's go to the last sentence. For this reason, protecting honeybee populations is essential for global food security. So we know that we need to protect them and for food security. So what we realize out of it is that the paragraph is mainly going to be about why honeybees matter and why they need protection. Okay, we got that figured out with just reading the first and the last sentence in the paragraph. Let's take a look at some others here. Where paragraph 1: many people picture volcanoes as destructive forces that erupt violently. Okay, let's stop there. Let's jump at the end. For this reason, volcanoes should be viewed as both destructive and creative forces. So we understand destructive, but we're supposed to view them as destructive and creative when you think of volcanoes. So A, why volcanoes should be studied more closely. Doesn't really talk about that, but it could be. B, the positive and negative effects of volcanoes. Well, we just had destructive and creative, so that's a really strong one. How scientists predict volcanic eruptions. C, that's not even in there. The minerals produced by volcanic activity. That's not even in there. So it's between A and B. B has positive and negative effects, and it says both destructive and creative forces, so our answer is going to be B. We didn't have to read the whole thing. So you can see how this could help you. And that's why we want to practice it to see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, it's bad to go into a test and try it and not have tried it out and perfected it and tried it with other strategies, right? Let's try another one. Throughout history, artists have been inspired by the night sky. Today, astronomers still remind us that the universe is not just a scientific subject, but also a source of wonder. So we have inspired by the night sky, scientific subject, but also a source of wonder. All right, so A, why people should become astronomers. Well, it could be, but that's not in our first and last, so we're going to leave that one out. How artists have drawn the night sky incorrectly. Doesn't talk about that at all in that first and last sentence, so we'll leave that one out. The connection between the night sky and human inspiration. Well, that's kind of good because they use inspiration in one of the two sentences that we have. The tools used by ancient astronomers. So we can cross that one off. So we definitely understand that one is C, and we just worked it out by just reading the two. We didn't have to read the entire thing. You see how the benefit of this can work? Some of the readings might not help you with that, and you got to do it with every paragraph so that you understand what's going on. Okay? Sometimes you might get away with just reading one, like the first sentence or the last sentence, if you're really stretched for time, but you don't, if you can do both, that's what we're working on to try to get the best you can out of your score. So one more here. Fast food has often been criticized for contributing to unhealthy diets. Last sentence, whether these changes will significantly improve public health remains to be seen. All right, so we've got changes, public health, unhealthy diet. So A, this paragraph is mainly about how fast food has become healthier in every way. We didn't see that. They're talking about unhealthy stuff, right? There were changes, but we don't know if it's healthy in every way. B, the mixed reputation of fast food and recent menu changes. Okay, possible. C, why fast food should be avoided altogether. Now, it didn't say that, so we can cross that one off for sure. D, how fast food companies are failing to make profits. Didn't say anything about money, right? So we can limit it down to A and B, and they're not talking about it being healthier in every way. What we see is that they're saying fast food is criticized, there's healthy options, the future is unclear. And so B is the best answer as to what we could see there. Now, as you're going along, you can tell that these are, how this can be useful to you. Okay, by reading them, thinking about it, especially when there's that time limit as you're reading through each section of a block of reading, and the 10 questions gets you, it has a time limit. So if you have struggle reading, use this strategy, see if it benefits you, use the eliminating the wrong answer strategy, and just figure it out and see if it ups your score, see if you can get it done in the time limit. And if so, use the strategy. And like I said, there are different types of reading. There's like 4 different types. And so you want to pay attention to when it works best for you. If it works for you for each one, use it for each one, but you want to do it when it works best for you. All right. So I hope that helps you. And that's what we're going to be working on. And good luck.